In this problem, you have a triangle attached to a rectangle. You have algebraic expressions for the measures of the side lengths. Solve for x if the combined area for the two figures is 1186. So that means this area and this area added together will equal 1186. The formula for finding the area of a rectangle is simply length times width. So you can do x plus 12 times x plus 9. That gives you the area of this one. And then you can find the area of the triangle, and you're going to add that to the area of the rectangle by doing 1/2 base times height. And the base is x plus 7. The height is x plus 19. Okay, all of this would have to equal 1186, and that comes from there. Now obviously you have to simplify this stuff. So let's multiply these together here to come up with x squared plus 21x plus 108. Remember, it's x times x, and then for the back side, 12 times 9 for the 108, and to get the middle, you have to do the outsides added with the insides, multiplied together. 9x, 12x is 21x. So move over here and keep your 1/2 multiplied by the result of this, which would be x squared plus 26x plus 19 times 7, which is 133. And set that equal to 186. Okay, we can simplify some more. We're going to keep x squared plus 21x plus 108. 1186? Should be 1186. I left off the 1. X squared plus 21x plus 108. And then we're going to multiply 1/2 times this quantity to get plus 1/2 x squared plus 13x plus 133 over 2. Then you're going to have to simplify like terms. You have a 1x squared and a 1/2 x squared. That would be 1.5 x squared from this and this. And then 21x plus 13x is plus 34x. That takes care of this. And then you have 108 plus 133 divided by 2. So we'll do 133 divided by 2 and get 66.5 and add to that 108. So you should have 174.5. That takes care of this and this. You're dwindling this all down to a quadratic equation that you can solve. So over here we have 1.5 x squared plus 34x plus 174.5. Move this to the left and make it minus. And now you have to simplify that back end. 1.5x squared plus 34x. And we have to do 174.5 minus 1186. And come up with minus 1011.5. Now from here you're going back to Algebra 1 to use the quadratic formula, in which this would be A, this would be B, this including the sign would be C, and you have to do negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC. All of that over 2A. So when you pop it in the formula, you have a negative poorly written, so I'll try it again. A negative 34 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which would be 34 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 1.5, and then times c, which is a negative 1011.5. Then over 2 times a, that's 1.5. So you have to solve this two different ways. Once with a plus here, once with a minus. So we'll keep the negative 34 plus or minus and solve what's under this first. Notice you have a double negative there, so it's going to end up plus. So 34 squared, and then you're essentially going to add to that 4 times 1.5 times 1011.5 and come up with 7,225. And all of that is over 3. 2 times 1.5. The square root of 7225 is 85. So we'll replace that radical term and put an 85 in there. Solve it both ways. Negative 34 plus 85 divided by 3, or it's going to be negative 34 minus 85 divided by 3. On the top, negative 34 plus 85 is 51. And then on the bottom, negative 34 minus 85 divided by 3. That's a negative 119 divided by 3, which is negative 39.7 if you round it. Look at your original problem. If I put something in here that's approximately negative 39 and add 19 to it, do I get a positive or a negative number? Negative, so that's not going to work out. So that answer is not possible down here. So we cross this one out. And that would be the value for x. So we'll go back up here, and we've just found x. And if I have found x, that means I can go through and find all of the side lengths in there. So I'll change to blue so it's easier to see. If I add 51 with this, oh, I didn't? Okay, that's my fault. Yeah, we got to divide by 3. So that should be 17. Yeah, that makes more sense. X should be 17. I'm glad he caught that. So we'll put a 17 up here. If I put 17 in here for AB, I come up with 36. If I put a 17 in here for BC, I get 24. A 17 in there is going to give me 29 for FE. And of course, BD is going to be the same thing. 17 in here is going to give me a 26 for DE. And then we have CF to find. Well, if DE is 26 and BC is 24, what is the value of CF? It'd have to be 2. And then we have to find AC. And notice that this one says that you have to round to 2 places. So we can use the Pythagorean Theorem. The value for AB is 36. The value for BC is 24. So 36 squared plus 24 squared will equal AC squared. Alright, so if we do 36 squared plus 24 squared, and then find the square root of that, we come back with 43.20 43.27. And you have all of your answers. We solved for x to be 17 and used that all the way around, plugging in 17 to find the values. For this one, you have to find the Pythagorean Theorem or use it. And for this one, you have to subtract long side minus this short length and come up with 2, like we did there. In this problem, we have to add this area and this area. To get this area, you have to do the quantity of x plus 18 times the quantity of x plus 11, and add that to the area of the triangle, which is 1/2 times the quantity of x plus 9 times the quantity of x plus 12. And all of this must be equal to 1019, which is the area of both figures added together. Written very poorly. Hit the edge of the screen. There we go. Alright, so we have to solve this equation for x, the only value of x that would work out in this problem. Okay, so we're going to need x squared and then plus, and to get the middle term you add these two together, so that would be 29x, and to get the back term you multiply these two together. So 18 times 11 is 198. And then plus 1/2 times this quantity, x plus 9, times this quantity. That's x squared plus 21x plus 108. And of course all of that is equal to 1019 still. Alright, let's run through and simplify some more. X squared plus 29x plus 198 plus 1/2 x plus 10.5x plus 54 equals 1019. And you need to add like terms in here now. So x squared plus 1/2 x squared is 1.5 x squared. 29x and 10.5x is 39.5 x. And then 198 and 54 is going to give you 252. And that's equal to 1019. Move the 1019 to the left and change the sign. And simplify those back two terms. So we'll have 1.5x squared plus 39.5x, and then we have 252 minus 1019. So that's minus 767. This is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. Is everybody anybody made it this far and came up with those same values? Okay, so we're good. That means I didn't leave anything out either, which is always a good thing. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And when we pop these things in, we get a negative 39.5 plus or minus the square root of 39.5 squared minus 4 times 1.5 times a negative 767. All of that over 2 times 1.5. So simplify underneath first in here. So you have 39.5 squared, and since you have a double negative, here is the same as adding the quantity of 4 times 1.5 times 767. And that comes out to be this, 62.25, and that's still under the square root sign. Everything else stays the same. On the bottom you have a 3. So the square root of 6162.25 comes out to be 78.5. And we still have plus or minus this, and over 3. So you have to do this both ways, once with a plus and once with a minus. So on the top part we would have negative 39.5 plus 78.5, and then divide by 3. That would give us a 13. If you do it the other way, negative 39.5 minus 78.5, and then divide by 3, you come out with a negative 39.3 repeating. Clearly, you can't use this. So x is 13. So if x is 13, BC is 22, and DE is 24. BD is 31. AB is 25. Of course, FE is going to be the same as BD, it's 31. And you have this one to find here, which is the Pythagorean Theorem. Remember that AB is 25 and BC is 22. So you're going to do 25 squared plus 22 squared, and then find the square root of that answer. And it comes out to be, for AC, 33.30, or just 33.3. And for CF, we have this length here, which was DE. That's 24. That means this one is 24 as well. So 24 minus 22 is 2.